Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love, and today we are going to be talking about Bitcoin's parabolic growth. Is it actually sustainable? Is the price going up to $28,000 or is it going down to $3,000 or is it going somewhere in between? Also, we'll be touching on some of the latest news from BitTorrent, EOS, IOTA, SpaceX, and some other stuff right after a message from our sponsor. Now guys, I just wanted to take a brief second to say thank you to everyone subscribing, thank you to everyone nuking the shit out of the like button. That stuff really does help out the channel because otherwise how do things grow? And let's take a look at the markets. Now today, market cap $271 billion, Bitcoin dominance 56.8%. Bitcoin sitting at 86.84, Ethereum at 269, and XRP at 42 cents. The big gainers today, EOS, Metaverse, and True Chain. The big losers, Aurora, Theta Fuel, and Insight Chain. If we take a look at what's going on in the charts today, there's not much that I wanted to talk about. We're kind of in the little consolidation period after the latest big move, that giant green dildo candle right there. You can kind of see it. It doesn't look giant compared with some other stuff, but it is giant. Believe me, it's big enough. She said it was a good size. But what I wanted to draw your attention to is right here. This growth that's been going on here, very reminiscent of this growth happening right here. We call it parabolic growth because guess what? It looks like a parabola. Well, parabolic growth, while awesome for taking a look on Blockfolio or whatever, see how much money you have in crypto, not exactly great for sustainability. Personally, I would love for it to keep going. I would love for it to go straight up to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, $1 million per Bitcoin. I would freaking love that, and I think one day that will happen. But right now, this parabolic growth is growing a bit fast. It seems like everybody's talking good news about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies right now. Like the sky's the limit. Oh, it's all happening right now. It's never going to end. It's just going to go up, 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 up. And while it may continue to go up, I mean, we've been in a pretty good ascending channel for quite a while. While it may continue going up, it may not as well. Magic Poop Cannon, who always likes to post stuff on TradingView, recently posted something about us being in the bear market rally. So he took a look. He had these exponential growth curves here that Bitcoin's been in, and he's saying Bitcoin hasn't actually bottomed out right there. As a matter of fact, it hasn't bottomed out there. He thinks it most likely will bottom by about October 9th, and he thinks probably about a $3,000 Bitcoin at that time. Now, is that something to cry over? No, not particularly. Is that going to happen? No, not necessarily. But one thing that he points to is right down here, this little red area, the NVT signal. Now, the NVT signal is something from Willy Woo, who's an amazingly smart computational technical analyst. Basically, this NVT signal takes a look at the network value over the 90-day MA of daily transaction value. And then what it does, as you can see, when there are peaks like here, peaks come right around the time of a sell-off. We see peak, sell-off, peak, sell-off, peak, sell-off, peak, sell-off. There's another peak that we're at right now, so potentially sell-off, potentially price could come back down. Does that worry me? No, because guess what? I've said it a billion times before, and I'll say it a billion times again. Trading on the MACD does pretty good for catching the general trends of the market, but you guys can do whatever you want. You guys could just hodl, you guys could buy, you could sell, you could scalp trade, you could do whatever you want. Now, in the news today, Bitcoin has finally made it mainstream. All this other stuff that wasn't anything, but now finally mainstream because it has been added to Microsoft Excel as a currency. If you take a look on Microsoft Excel, you can put this little scroll menu and see, look at that, Bitcoin. It's about time because a lot of things you need to be able to charge people in Bitcoin. And if they don't have the Bitcoin symbol there, you can't do it. But now you can charge people in Bitcoin on Microsoft Excel. That's big news. Because a lot of people use Excel, a lot of businesses use Excel, they start seeing Bitcoin on there, that gets into people's minds. They start hearing about Bitcoin. They're looking at all these currencies. They're like, oh yeah, the Armenian, yeah, I heard of that one. The Azerbaijani, yeah, I've heard of that one. The Bashkir, yeah, I've heard of that currency. The Bitcoin, what's the Bitcoin? I better go learn what the Bitcoin is. So potentially get more people knowing about Bitcoin, then they'll want Bitcoin, and then they'll realize there's not enough. And then it'll be a feeding frenzy and simple economics. The price will go up. As a matter of fact, Crypto evangelist Max Kaiser has predicted in the short term a $28,000 Bitcoin. For this exact same reason, he says there's very little supply between here and a new all-time high. $28,000 Bitcoin still in play. Hashtag Bitcoin. Yeah, because guess what drives the price of Bitcoin? Aside from tweets from Justin Sun or John McAfee or other things like that. Simple economics, supply and demand. There's a fixed supply of Bitcoin. When the demand grows, when more people learn about it, more people want it, and they can't get it because there's no supply, and the price shoots up infinitesimally high. He further goes on to say the pullback from 20,000 to 3,300 will be hardly visible on the charts in the next few years. Basically a non-event. Now yesterday, Justin Sun tweeted something big coming by June 1st, and today he tweeted introducing the next generation of decentralized storage systems. BitTorrent file system will be the largest decentralized peer-to-peer storage network with close to 100 million BitTorrent user nodes and over 1,000 Tron full nodes, 27 SR nodes, and a global Tron grid nodes. 3 days left. Are you excited? So apparently this is what he was talking about. 3 days left would be June 1st. Potentially this is what he was talking about. I don't know. It doesn't really excite me. I mean, I'll be honest. I've used BitTorrent for quite a while. Why does it need to be tokenized? I don't know. It was working quite well before, but integration with Tron, he's a good businessman. Maybe those will work out business-wise. Other things with business is EOS talking about big announcements. Now, EOS is up about 15% today because EOS founder hints biggest announcement for EOS coming in June, buys back 10% of its stock. So Dan Larimer says June will be the biggest news since EOSCO announcement. Quality over quantity. ETH has many devs because their solutions are overly complicated by poor initial design. Now, Block.One has bought back a lot of their shares. They're valued at $2.3 billion. The repurchase prices of its shares were $1,500 per share, which is up over 6,500% from the original price of $2,250. The company is buying back these shares at a high price. They must anticipate even more growth in the future, perhaps after the EOS announcement in June. So that could be a big thing for EOS. And as a matter of fact, another thing that Block.One just did, they purchased 3.3 million EOS worth of RAM. So they unstaked their first vested EOS, a total of 9.8 million EOS tokens. They repurchased 3.3 million EOS worth of RAM. Now, RAM is necessary to run programs, run games, run apps on the EOS network. So this begs the question, could this be proof that Block.One is releasing their first dApp on the EOS mainnet? It could very well be, and potentially that might drive the price up. IOTA in the news, they're talking about their Coordicide. It's like mixing the coordinator and suicide. You put those two words together, you get Coordicide. And basically, what it is, their open source coordinator called Compass was released a few months ago, but it helps prevent attacks in the early stages of IOTA's network. It prevents double spends and ensures validation when transactions are referenced by milestones. Unfortunately, this technique takes away the decentralized nature, but it was a necessary security measure. However, the Coordicide is a step towards more decentralization, and this guy here, Sergey Popov, he says that we did it. It is done. So they have figured out a way to do it, making IOTA more decentralized. Good news for IOTA fans. Now, Mike Novogratz, the perpetual Bitcoin bull, always bullish about Bitcoin, he says to Elon Musk to tokenize SpaceX. So hedge fund manager Mike Novogratz thinks that Musk should release the company's stock on a cryptocurrency network. In other words, he thinks the company's shares should come only in crypto form. He says he'd be the first to invest in the company if Musk ever made that decision. Now, even though Elon Musk has tweeted a lot about Dogecoin, ETH, different things like that, does he actually mean that, is he actually interested? We don't exactly know. We don't even know if this will happen, but Novogratz thinks that Musk should start thinking about tokenizing of SpaceX. He thinks it would give rise to an entirely new wave of investors, obviously people involved in cryptocurrency, and with the bullish activity surrounding crypto as of late, could very well be right. So that's all the news for today. Will Bitcoin go to 28,000? Will it go down to 3,000? We don't exactly know. I think there's a lot of hype in the market right now, especially as it's been growing, as it's been going. I just keep an eye on the MACD. I trade that. I think that with all the hype, potentially we might see a bit of a consolidation, but I've been wrong before, and guess what? I'll probably be wrong again. So guys, if you are interested in trading, go ahead, check out Signal Profits. There's a link down in the description. You could get like 32% gains on a regular basis, 14% gains, 8% gains on a regular basis. Also, make sure to check out the Monarch wallet, and I will catch you all later.